After the Hawks, we have the Boston Celtics. How's that for knowing how to go in alphabetical order? You're welcome, everybody. I have Grant Williams here. He has had like a quietly really good season, and I don't know why, but doesn't it sort of feel like he's been around forever, even though this is year three? Is it because we've seen like 80 different iterations of the Celtics since he's been in the league? It feels like both on and off the floor, but he's quietly shot the ball really well this season. He is like by percentages just one of their best shooters from three. He's not taking, Jayson Tatum off the dribble threes, but he's knocking down 42.5% of his triples on the year, which leads all rotation players, unless you count Nick Stauskas. He have 3 appearances for fewer than 6 minutes as a rotation player there. So that's just the biggest mark of anyone, best mark, excuse me, of anyone in their rotation. And I think, look, the ship has sailed on him being like one of the baby Al Horfords that seemed like they were scattered throughout the league at one point between him and Wendell Carter Jr. But as someone who can space the floor, can do some stuff inside the arc, and then has also just shown, I wouldn't call him dominant defensively, but there have just been plays when I've watched him where he's just all of a sudden on the perimeter guarding John Morant or breaking up plays from behind. I feel like he's just really good. And if you didn't have Robert Williams and Al Horford there, he would probably just get more shine in general, because I do think that his development, it's sort of all of a sudden flown under the radar. And I think it's kind of coincided with, I don't know if the mantra is still that Robert Williams III is underappreciated. I don't think he's overrated, but I feel like we've reached the point where to call Robert Williams III underrated is an overrated stance.
You just galaxy brain the Robert Williams take. Williams would have been my pick too. A couple things on him. 50% on corner threes. That's good. The other aspect, as you mentioned, is his defense. So B-Ball Index does defensive versatility scores, right? Just to sort of measure statistically how many different positions a player guards, like what percentage of the time. So there are 3 players in the league that have played as many minutes as Grant Williams that have higher defensive versatility scores, and it's Jimmy Butler, Aaron Gordon, Scotty Barnes. That's it. So, I mean, Williams is like a pure 1 through 4 defender, and he can sort of, because he's a rock, can kind of hang in there against fives on the rare occasions anyone posts up anymore. So, like, as a role guy, it's interesting though that his on off is terrible. Like, the Celtics are way better with him off the floor. I don't care, just because he doesn't play with the starters that much. So he's awesome. He's a total right place, right time guy. I love those guys that just sort of know where to be and what to do. And some of the advanced metrics are very, very kind to him. And I think if you watch Boston play a little bit, like against the Warriors the other night, for example, he definitely does justify, I think, some of what the advanced metrics say for him.
Boston's defense is out of control good as we're recording this. This is just what this team was at the start of the season, where I just assumed they were cooked and it was done. Now, I didn't think they need to break up Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum. I just thought so many things needed to be futzed and fiddled with on the margins. And now they're in the top 4 of the East. And if you look at just like, you would trust them, I think at this point, way more to come out of the East than you would Chicago, as an example.
Oh, no doubt for me. I think, I mean, you mentioned Robert Williams, this thing where he's just a free safety now and isn't involved in pick and roll coverage and just like swoops out of wherever to come weak side block everything. Like, that's a real weapon. And then every other position, it's just like someone that's long and that can like deflect passes and just be in the way. So yeah, it's interesting that they've just sort of, I don't know if there's not, like, I don't know what the fix is offensively, what you do against the Robert Williams free safety thing. Maybe it's just making sure he has to guard a really threatening shooter that he can't leave. But yeah, I don't know. The Celtics have really got it figured out right now.